Welcome to Don't You Two Read, a podcast where two sisters talk about all things books.
We're just two girls who found ourselves texting about books on a daily basis and thought, why not turn on a mic?
We'll be talking about our recent reads, a weekly bookish topic, and what we're looking forward to reading next.
So grab a cup of coffee and maybe even a snack and be prepared to take down your TBR and add a lot to it as we talk all things books.
I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma, and books are my life. Said like Home Alone, Kevin.
And I'm Hannah, a stay-at-home mom in Texas who is knee-deep in my Throne of Glass reread.
This is episode 33, and hi, we're so glad that you're here. Today, we're going to do something a little fun, I think. We're going to be talking about books that live rent-free in our minds. So we kind of just had the topic, and then we just went on our own from there. So we'll see what we came up with. But before that, Hannah, how has your reading been?
It's been good. I am on my tandem read, so I am at book 5 and 6 of
You're
Throne of
far,
Glass.
right?
I'm about 50% in each book. So
Yeah.
halfway.
Do you have a checklist?
Yes, I have I have the physical books. It was like all the stars aligned. I have the two physical books from the library and then the ebooks from the library came in. Because I've been pushing them back, trying to line them all up. It has been a whole like full-time job, but they all lined up like one day after the next. So I'm pretty good. I have tabs on the physical books, and then on the ebook, I'm gonna show Hillary, but I have, look at this. On the back of my
Oh,
Kindle,
yeah. I
I
had a
line,
checklist like that too, and I would
yeah,
like Taylor was like, "This is sick." I had a whole thing, and you would check off each chapter, but I actually ended up enjoying it a lot. I love the tandem read.
I surprisingly to myself, I know everybody in the universe said do the tandem read, and me, like my type A brain, felt very much like, no, we have to do the order of publication and do them in order, blah, blah, blah. But no, like I am forever changed on my stance because the enjoyment for me has gone up. So it's so much, I don't know, it works. Like it actually really works well to do the tandem read. So I am very
No.
impressed.
Yeah, and it's not so bad. I know I tell everyone it doesn't feel that bad once you get into it. It doesn't feel like this huge chore and chunk. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. How has your reading been?
Good. I actually finished a book right before I came on here.
Are you talking about it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're getting your first reactions.
Yeah. And so it's been fine. It's been good. I don't know. I told Hannah, I think like 2025 is like the golden age of publication and books. Like, I don't know if you
Mm.
guys feel like this, but I felt like 2024 was kind of a dud. Not, I mean, obviously there were good books that came out, but there were less good books came out, you know? And then I feel like 2025 it has been like the really solid. There's been I don't know, like more good books. And it's
Hmm.
only we're just starting.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like there's like, so maybe it just lined up that way. You know how some authors take time by the time their next one comes out? I feel like it's just this is
Yeah.
the year that they all hit.
Yeah, it's been good. It has been I don't know, it's been a solid reading month, a little over a month now, but I've been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, me too.
We're gonna clip that later for for our disappointment episode.
Oh, no.
And be like, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Maybe, maybe this will be the year that we enjoy the thing. Except
A
I
lot of
say
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that, but my book was gonna be a dud that I'm bringing. I
I've
don't
had a
know.
few a few that have been just awful. But right now I'm looking on Storygraph, my average rating for the year so far is 4.22. So already it's higher than it was last year. So already we're off to a good start.
Maybe it will be better because we did say we were gonna be more intentional with arcs, with the
And reading only
genres.
what we truly want. That's it.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
well, it's an experiment.
Yeah. So we'll see. we'll see what happens. So, okay, so let's get started into recent reads. Why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Okay, guys, I'm bringing a book that you may remember from a previous episode. I'm bringing Will Prescribe You a Cat.
I saw that you read that on your list, and I was like, I'm confused.
This is by,
Wasn't this a DNF?
yes, it was. This is by Syou Ishida. Okay, I'm gonna start and say, I guess let's just start with the synopsis. Ugh, okay, here we go. Synopsis. A cat a day keeps the doctor away. Tucked away on the fifth floor of an old building at the end of a narrow alley in Kyoto, the Nakayo Kokoro Clinic for the Soul can be found only by people who are struggling in their lives and who genuinely need help. The mysterious clinic offers a unique treatment to those who find their way here. It prescribes cats as medication. Patients are often puzzled by this unconventional prescription, but when they take their cat for the recommended duration, they witness profound transformations in their lives, guided by the playful, empathetic, and occasionally challenging yet endearing cats. Okay, so this was a book I had DNF'd previously. I DNF'd it, I think it was like 20-25%. I said it was boring. So
Mhm.
when we talked about it, I got like excited about it again. See, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's a problem. So I got excited about it. I'm like, I'm gonna try it again. And I saw it at the library. It was there on the new to the library bookshelf, and it was right there at checkout. So I was like, okay, it's fate. So I took it and I'm like, we're gonna do it this time. Okay. I previously rated this 3 stars. I mean, like I did. When I finished it, that's what I rated it. There's no way. This is like a below 3 stars for me. As I'm like processing it and as I was collecting my thoughts to bring it today, I was like, no, this 3 would be too generous.
So you would say you did not like it.
No. No. And okay, let's just say all the things. So the premise, the idea of this book is I think the best part of the book. I mean, it sounds so good. And I'm the biggest cat person, and I do like Japanese literature. So if this book was for anybody, I would honestly say I'm the target audience. And the characters to me felt flat. There were dark elements in this book, but then at the same time, it was like kooky and like goofy. Just, I don't know. And I thought maybe it might be that the humor maybe didn't translate well. And I was looking through some reviews, and the things that I felt it's a common theme in the low ratings on this book, where a lot of people question the meaningful elements. Were they lost in translation? I don't know because I only got the English version. So I don't know. The characters were extremely unlikable. They were pretty flat. I did not feel like they grew, like I didn't see the transformation. I was waiting for the cats to like help these people and the people got happy, but I didn't make that connection at all. So, I don't know. I this was it was boring. It continued to be boring, and there were not enough cats. The cat elements I guess were the only good part, but even then there was not enough cats. I will say I'm going to end with reading this because normally I say, okay, this is who would maybe enjoy this book. Try this. If you like this, try. No. So I'm going to read a part of a review that I stumbled across on Goodreads. This was not my review, but I'm just going to read what they said. If you're looking for anything that will in any way stay with you after reading it, skip this book. If you're looking for anything interesting, skip it. If you're looking to learn more about Japan, skip it. If you're looking to better understand how people deal with their issues with maturity and intellect, skip it.
Wow, harsh.
Yeah. So that is We'll Prescribe You a Cat by Syou Ishida.
That's too bad. You should have just followed your first instinct.
Have we ever picked up a book again and loved it?
I did for One Dark Window. I did end up liking that one and I DNF'd it, but I think there's a difference between like a DNF and then where you're like, it's just not the right time for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than you're like, I don't like this at all. Or versus you're like, I'm just really stressed out right now and I can't focus on this.
Yeah,
They're two different types.
that's true.
Well, you learned. Well,
I know.
maybe you need to try another working translation and then see, like, maybe it's a
I've read them.
style. Oh,
I've
Japanese ones?
Yes, I've done
Okay.
I've done a handful of Japanese
So
literature.
it's just this book. I tried. I tried to throw a
Y-
lifeline to this book.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. And all the reviews are like, maybe if you're obsessed with cats, then you'll like it.
Even no.
No.
Okay. So my first book is Love Songs and Fairy Tales by Julie Farley. I'm excited to bring this one because I have never heard anybody else talk about it. I haven't seen it anywhere. Okay, the only place I saw it was on Instagram, and I'll tell you the story. But I will tell you on Goodreads, it has 146 ratings and 26 reviews. So it's not a very well-known book, I would say. I saw it on an Instagram page for a Seattle bookstore because I visit Seattle fairly often and I follow several of their bookstores. And one of them just posted this book and they're like, hey, it's, local author. Here's a book she put out. And I was like, that looks cute. And so I just like found her Instagram from that. And I discovered she writes these little romances or like yeah, I would say it's a romance. These little romance books and she lives in Washington in the Seattle area. But she lives on an or lived, I don't know if she still does, but on an island by Seattle and she takes the ferry all the time and which was really fun for me because we just did that the last time we went. That was such a fun experience. So anyway, her she has like this they're standalone novels, but you know what I mean? They're connected through a
Hmm.
series. They're interconnected or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, I don't want to give too much away, but it's about a lady. Her name is Jack, and she lives in San Francisco. She recently got divorced, and so she's just really down on her luck. Like she had to move out of her apartment because she can't afford it anymore because, she doesn't have the income. And it's kind of weird because her ex-husband is just like a total douchebag, awful, awful guy. So she's just having a really bad time. She's a teacher, and when summer break comes, she's like, I'm going to go see my parents. I need to get away from this right now. So she goes to her parents' house it's on this island in Washington. And when she gets there and walks in, there's this stranger in her parents' house. And she's like, who the heck are you? What's going on? And she calls her parents and they're like, oh, we're actually in Europe. We didn't want to tell you. We were going to tell you after you got out of, school, but you've just been so down on your luck and sad. We just didn't want to upset you that we're gone. And we've rented out our house to like an Airbnb situation. So
Hmm.
now she's like, great, what do I do? Like, I'm in Washington. What do I do? And so it kind of evolves from there. And so um, we find out the guy is a celebrity and he's a musician. So it's a celebrity romance. And it's said from both points of view. So it goes back and forth. And it's funny because she doesn't recognize him. She's just like, he's cute, but whatever. And so she doesn't recognize him. And so he's enjoying this like time away from the spotlight because he's been having his own issue. So we go back and forth with their perspectives. And I thought what was fun is there's like this town newsletter, which is I don't know if I've only seen the first season of Bridgerton, but there is like that newsletter in Bridgerton and in the books, and it felt like that. Like someone's writing this like gossip newsletter on the island, and it was cute. They don't know who's writing it, but those were sprinkled throughout the book, and so I thought that was a cute element. I will say this book is Fade to Black, I think. Don't sue me. Go come after me for that if I got it wrong. It's not, I wouldn't say it was open door. I would say closed door, but probably fade to black. I don't know the difference very much sometimes, but it was not spicy. And yeah, that was it. I think it was a really short book. Let me see. Short for me. Yeah, 244 pages. I really liked it. I thought it was just really cute. Like, I thought it was a really cute, I don't want to say cozy because, like, stuff happens. There is, like, a third act, problem. And I don't know, it was kind of believable. I liked it. I thought it was really fun. I would definitely read the next one in the series. Next time I'm looking for just something, light, not too serious, but does have some serious elements. Obviously, like, she's going through her divorce, and so I mean there are serious elements, but not too heavy at all. So I liked it. I love the Pacific Northwest vibes. It was small town, which I like. I'm not the biggest celebrity romance person. I'll just say that right off the bat.
Hmm.
It's not my favorite trope, but I did enjoy it. I did like it. I liked it. I'm curious what the other ones will be because I don't think they're celebrity romance. So I feel like I might like those more. That's
Yeah.
just me. I'm just not the biggest celebrity romance person. And
Um,
also this is just me. This is a me issue. Um I think she was trying to say this man was like Harry Styles. And I think
oh,
that was an interesting pick for a person. Like,
a love interest.
yeah, I thought that was an
Yeah.
interesting choice. Like, I would have thought of so many other men, like musicians that she could have picked in like country music or I don't know, like John Mayer
I
or,
knew you were gonna say John
of
Mayer
course, he's my favorite.
because Hillary's husband looks a lot like John. Like they look very close to each other. I knew she was gonna say it. I was waiting.
Yeah, for sure. Every episode, I'm like, I have a type. That should be like my Instagram handle name at this point. But anyway, Harry Styles was kind of an interesting choice for
Mhm.
me because it's like he has his song is called Raspberry Kiss or something like that. I was like,
What?
interesting. That I didn't like that part very much. It was kind of it's not a big deal. It is not a big deal. I'm just saying Harry Styles doesn't do it for me. And then I want to say the guy also had painted nails. And I
Mm.
was like, what?
Hmm.
And they gloss over it, just whatever. And I was like, what the heck is going on with this? So, besides the Harry Styles stuff, which is a me thing because I know a lot of girls really love him a lot, that was just me. I thought it was still really cute. I liked the story. I thought it was a nice reprieve from all the heavy stuff I read. And I definitely want to keep going, and see maybe there's like a rivals to lovers, my kind of
Hmm.
jam. So we'll see. So anyway, that was a nice like under the radar book. And that's Love Songs and Fairy Tales. That's Ferry, Fairy Tales by Julie Farley.
Mm.
So it's like a cute little play.
Yeah, I see that. That's cute. I'm glad you liked it because I remember when you picked it up and you were like, I don't know, could go either way.
Yeah, it was like a random
Yeah.
pick, just trying to do something different. And I'm glad. Look, the next one has 6 reviews, so I'm excited to get into them.
Okay, for my next one, I am bringing The Fall Risk. And this
Ah,
is by Abby Jimenez. And this is an Amazon original stories. Have you read this?
Hannah, that was my second book.
Ah, how many
That's the one
times?
I finished today.
We do this. I feel like we've done this
I
several
think just once.
times.
No, I think just once. I think it was Merry Little Match.
Only
That was it.
once?
I think so.
Okay. I think
You go
it's
ahead and
happened.
talk about it.
This is interesting because I'm curious now what you think about it. I've seen mixed reviews. Okay, it's Valentine's Day weekend, and Charlotte and Seth are not looking for romance. Armed with emotional support bear spray, Charlotte is in self-imposed isolation and on guard from men. Having a stalker can do that to a person's nerves. Just across the hall and giving off woodsy vibes is Seth, a recently divorced arborist, as in today recently. Heights. What does that even mean?
Heights
As in today recently. Oh, okay.
recently, right?
It says Seth is a recently divorced arborist, as in today recently, because he's divorced
Oh, yeah,
officially
yeah,
that day.
yeah.
This blurb is written weird. Okay. And then it says heights. So he's fine with heights, trust, not so much. But when disaster traps them, one flight up and no way down, an outrageously precarious predicament forces a tree loving guy and a rattled girl next door to embrace their captivity. Soon their defenses are breaking away. Considering how close they both are to the edge, Charlotte and Seth could be in danger of falling in love. I'm sorry, guys.
Yikes.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. That blurb to me is awful. I don't know. It's just rough. We have Seth. He's an arborist, and I thought he was very charming. Like he talks about trees, but he's also kind of, I guess, dorky because he
He's
has,
nerdy.
yeah, nerdy. She's an accountant. She works from home. He is the one who works with trees, but he's injured. So
Yeah.
that's why he's home. Like
Yeah.
he's recovering. Okay. It's like forced proximity because they are stuck in their, what is it, second floor?
Yeah, the stairs were removed from their apartment. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The first scene, the stairs are gone, like crash gone. And so they're stuck on their apartments and they only have a middle hallway, a breezeway connecting them, and that's it. They can't get down from their top
Yeah.
floor apartment all weekend, right? I think
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like 3 days. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not long. So the timeline of the book is very short. This is 82 pages, so it is very short. I would not even say it's a novella. I would say it's like a short story. Very short. I read this probably in 2 hours, like in one setting, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was quirky for sure. Like the best friends had a little weird situation, but I liked it. I thought I liked the friends. I thought they were weird, but I thought it worked. I liked the main characters. I liked the plot, and I don't know. I think that Abby is one of the few that can write something this short and I can still enjoy it. And I don't know, I just felt like the perfect little palate cleanser. I read this while I've been tandem reading my Throne of Glass, and I just felt like it was nice because it was just a quick little romance. It had a little bit of suspense in it, and there was a moment with a bunch of like old ladies, like you guys.
I thought about this. He has like a old lady group that they love him and they like objectify him, and it's very lighthearted. It's silly, whatever. I did think if the roles were reversed, it would
Mm,
not be cute. You know what I mean? Like if
hmm.
there's a group of old men that were grabbing her, it wouldn't be funny. But
That's
I
true.
digress. I digress.
The only thing that I had some reservations on was the ending. I felt like it was a little bit unresolved for me. I still had questions. However, I did not consider it a huge drawback for me personally because I think I am looking at it in a different lens. I don't judge a 82-page book the same as I judge a full-length novel. So I think that she did the things that she, would be trying to do in an 82-page novella or short story. This releases March 1st. It is available through Amazon First Reads. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can download it through their First Reads program for the month of February. So that's
I
what
didn't know it doesn't release till March normally.
I know.
Um,
Yeah,
okay, I
well,
loved it. I loved it. But as we know, I think I love everything Abby puts out. Like she's just amazing. I think the reason she is successful with something this short is because she doesn't try to go too hard. Because sometimes you see like a book this long and there's like this spicy scene in it,
mhm.
and
Falling in
every
love.
yeah, and they're in love and like someone gets engaged and I don't like all this and you're like, what the heck? Like it's been 80 pages. Which 80, keep in mind, 80 is still not nothing. Like that is
Yeah,
still a third of some people, like a romance, a short romance book, but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's not nothing. But she doesn't do too much. Like this is
yeah.
close. I wouldn't even say close. There's no spice. That's all I should
None.
say.
Yeah.
There's no spice. It's really sweet. You get a kiss, but that's it. Um, I say that there is cussing in it, but
Yes.
my point is, it's not like there's this huge physical on ramp and it's just so short you can't even get there that you're like, this is ridiculous, which is how that book, A Risk Worth Taking, felt by Jessica Joyce,
Oh,
was
mm-hmm.
that it was like all physical and it's only like 100 pages or less or whatever.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was like, it's all this is. There's no other time. This
Mm-hmm.
did not feel this way. I don't know how she smashed in like this cute story about, and it like went in deep too, like had some deep talks and topics.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I loved it. I'm not really surprised, like, but I think it was my favorite novella. Did you read the other one? The was it Worst Wingman?
Uh-huh. Worst wingman ever. I did read it, yeah, and I really liked it.
Did you notice those characters were in
Yes,
this book?
I
Yeah.
did. I was like, oh, but okay, that one was the same, similar to this one. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
these are like a meet cute. Like Hillary said, you're not getting like a full relationship. You're not getting the rest of their story.
But this one gave you a touch in the future. So I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I liked it. Okay, I will say this, and I'm curious what your thoughts are. I think she does the short stories really well. However, something interesting is that I see a lot of people who say, "Oh, I've never read Abby before, and I want to try these, like the short stories, to see if they want to try her full-length novels." Me personally, I don't think they have the same tone or like the same vibe of her full-length novels. I don't, do you feel like they do?
Um I mean, I don't I still enjoy them, but I am left with that feeling like I loved it, but I wish there was more. And I don't feel like that with the other books. I feel like the other books, like, I feel satisfied. Like you said, I don't like dock it against the book because it's supposed to be 80 pages. It's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And obviously, like whenever your plot is the stairs are removed and you're trapped in your room,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really, I mean, it'd be difficult to do a 400-page novel on that.
Yeah.
But I would start with yours truly. If you had to
Yeah,
start with Abby, I would try that one.
me
Or no.
too.
Yeah, I would start with yours truly, I think. And then if you like that one, then go wherever you want. Like anything, I love it all. But that one is what I would judge if you would like her or not.
I guess because my thing is if you don't love her novellas, I
Yeah,
don't
you would
think
still want to try it.
yeah, like I don't think that you would dislike her full-length novels. Like they feel different enough. But anyway, I enjoy them all. So I enjoyed this one a
Have
lot.
you read The Situationship yet? No.
No, that's the one with what is his name?
Doug and
Yes.
Maddie.
Yeah, I haven't, and I feel like
Is it
I
Maddie?
want
I
to.
thought so.
I don't know, but I do. I remember Doug. I remember
Yeah.
him for sure.
That one, okay, I will warn you. That one, I still liked it a lot, but I liked this one, The Fall Risk, better. But it's still good. I mean, I'll read anything she writes at this point. Okay, so let's get into our deep dive. We're gonna talk about books that live rent free in our minds. So if you don't know what like living rent free, that just means like things that occupy your thoughts all the time, like you're just always thinking about them randomly throughout the day. I don't mean they're good. I don't mean they're just necessarily good. I just mean they just pop into your brain
Yes.
randomly,
Yes.
un unprovoked thought pop into your brain all the time, and they're just in your mind.
Yeah, and it could be months, it could be years. You like we have read hundreds of books and you still think of certain ones that still come to your brain. So that's what we consider rent-free books.
Okay, do you want to get started and list your first one?
Okay, my first one is 56 Days by Katherine Ryan Howard.
I
I
knew
just
that would be one for
I
sure.
talk about this all the time. All the time. It's like a thriller and it's you don't really know exactly what's happening. The timeline is you're not going chronologically, so you're finding out information as you go. It's so good. And I feel like I don't hear people talk about it ever, and I love it.
I know. I love Catherine Ryan Howard. She's so good. Okay. Um, my first one is so this is what we're talking about. This is I would not call this a Roman Empire book, but it was the reason I picked this topic. It's Well Met by Jen Deluca. Why? I don't know. Like, why is this the book? It's like a romance novel set in a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, it sounds
And but that's why, like, I think because I've never read anything like it
Yeah.
ever, like, before or after. And it just like I don't know what it was, like, her describing the fair,
Yeah.
life, like those scenes, just the environment sticks with me. I don't know, all the time. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, you remember that book, Well Met? Like, I don't know. Like, it's so funny. And what's funny is I don't remember what I rated the book, but it wasn't 5 stars by any means. And I don't, it's just so funny how that works. Like, it just like took its
Mm-hmm.
place in my brain.
Well, I mean, I'd consider that a win, I guess, for her, for the author. Okay,
Yeah.
my next one is The Last One by Will Dean. Uh,
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
and this one, I don't remember what I rated it either. Most of these were not 5 stars. I don't know that any of these were 5 stars. Maybe a few, but most were not for me. So this one, think of cruise ship disaster. I think of Squid Games on a cruise ship. That is this book. It's just wild, but I think about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Weird, weird, weird. Okay, my next one is old. This is Blink by Ted Dekker. I
Mm.
always think about this book. I own it. I mean, this is like one of my top favorite books. There are Christian themes,
Mm-hmm.
strong Christian themes in this book, but it's like a thriller. I don't know. Like, I've read this book, I don't know how many times, guys. Like three, four,
Mm-hmm.
4 times, five, I don't know, a lot. And I just, every time I read it, I'm like, oh, so good. Like, I always think about it. And ultimately, it's about like prayer. And if, like, he's an agnostic or atheist, I think. And he's like, well, what's the point? Like, why would we pray to a God if there's fate, like does God have control or like is there fate or why would we pray if it's already set in stone, like our future's set in stone? And it has like Arabic themes and
Mm-hmm.
prayer, like questions about prayer and the existence of God. I don't know. I know some people don't like this book. I don't care. Like I love this book and I think about it all the time. All the time.
Yeah, I do too. That's a good one. And if you're like scared of Ted Dekker, because sometimes he can be really strange, this one is actually not.
No, it's not scary at all. So good though. If you're Christian, for sure. And even if you're like, I don't think I'm a Christian, I just have a lot of doubts about prayer and God and fate, I would still say try it. Like it just provoked a lot of thought.
Hmm. I agree. I like that one. Okay. My next one is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is the Christmas Carol, like reimagining. I just, every time, I mean, I think about it often. So, all the time. I mean, anytime Christmas Carol is mentioned, I think about it, but then I think about it even more than Christmas Carol. So, yeah.
I
And
almost said A Christmas Carol because that one for sure.
yeah. What's your next one?
Okay, the next one I have is The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
nonfiction about Ted Bundy, about a woman who was friends with Ted Bundy, and I own this book. I've read it several times. It is, I didn't think it was scary to me, but I have loaned it to friends who told me it was scary. So I don't know, but
I don't think it's scary.
You
Yeah.
know yourself, but I thought it was a very interesting read and it has stuck with me.
Okay, my next one is By Your Side. This is by Casey West. I read this probably in 2020, and the main characters, I believe they're in high school, and they get locked in a library. They have no access to the phone, to a computer, and it's a 3-day weekend, and she's not the only one. So it's the girl, she's in the library locked in there, but then she finds out that like the bad boy from school is also locked in the library. And so, I mean, this book is just, it's so cute. And I think about it all the time.
I've never read that one. Okay, my next, they're a duo. I have Falling and Drowning by
Oh,
TJ
yes.
Newman. Um, I feel like it's in bad taste right now.
Oh.
Especially because of what's been going on in the world. But don't let them scare you away because they end okay. They do end okay. But they've stuck with me for years now. They are tense airplane books. Yeah, I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know if I'd read them right now, I'll be honest, but they are
But they are
exciting.
hopeful too. They are
Yes, they
hopeful.
are. They give you hope in the airline staff. I just mean like with what's been going on
Yes.
in the news. You pick your, again, you know yourself, but I will guarantee you, you will not forget them. They will
Yeah,
be stuck in your brain forever.
that's true. Okay. The next one I have on my list is Bunny by Mona Awad.
I thought of this. I think about this book and I never even read it.
So I read this book and Heather, my little sister, read this book. Oh my goodness. I was looking at my review for this. This was before I would write deep reviews or like, anything lengthy. I think I rated it 2 stars. And my review said, yeah, it's going to be a no from me. I'm still going to be processing this in 2025 because I read this years
Oh,
ago.
wow. And you
Yeah.
are.
Yes. Okay, Bunny. It's literally like Mean Girls, but like a cult. It is weird. Weird. Very weird. That's it.
Okay. My next one is The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. This is that book I was talking about, the dystopian with like the princesses who were robots.
Oh, yeah.
Such a weird premise, but I always think about it. I think I might reread it. I don't know. Uh, it always pops up into my brain.
They've changed covers, but the one cover that it used to be with like it looked like a Disney castle, that cover is so pretty to me.
Yeah, I like that one. I think the theme of these, it's like something different. I think that's why it
Yeah.
popped. I remember them.
Okay, my next one is Fierce Kingdom, which is funny
Oh,
that you have
yeah.
Kingdom and Kingdom. Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips. This is like, I think about this every time we go to the zoo. I don't know that
Oh,
that's a good
no.
thing, but the book is like a mom with her, I feel like he's like a 5-year-old boy, and they're at the zoo, and there's like a whole
A shooting.
situation. Yeah, at the zoo. And so the whole
And she
point
has to
though,
survive,
yeah,
yeah.
she has to survive with her child who is little. Like I don't remember what age he is, but like he's little to
Yeah.
where she has to, carry this kid around and keep him quiet and all the things. It is so stressful, but I still think about it. I still think about it. And Josh is always like, "Stop it." Because anytime we go to the zoo, I'm like, "Remember that book, Fierce Kingdom?" He's like, "Stop it."
I will say, um, that book does end okay. So if you think I can't handle that book, like it's all okay. It's okay. But I won't take away, like, it is stressful though, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Let's see. How many more do you have?
3.
Okay. Next one I have, this is like a series. It's the Veronica Speedwell series. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast yet. These are like mystery. There's 9 so far. These are mystery novels, and I've done them, I think, only on audio so far. And the banter of the male and female, it's so good. And it's like that series where you're like, I just want them to get together. But
Mm-hmm.
it's that type of thing. And so I don't know. I just always think about him. It's funny because like I don't remember anything about the mysteries at all. I just remember um the guy and the girl, and I'm always like, I need to go back and listen to that. And so I actually downloaded the next book onto my phone today. Just I'm like, it's time. I don't know, it's just something that always keeps popping back up in my brain.
Okay, my next one is Rosaline Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. This book is like the Great British Baking Show in a book, and it was so cozy, cozy in like the baking vibe, where I just felt like it was so relaxing. It's a long book. I do remember that, like long for that genre, I felt like, but I think about this book all the time. I did own this book.
Yeah, I bought you like a box from a
Yes.
bookstore, and they put together a curated collection for you, and that was in
Yes.
there.
So, but did I give
And
the
yes,
book to
and then you gave it to me. Yes, I
Okay, that's
have
what
it.
I thought. Okay. Okay, so I read it and I enjoyed it. I didn't rate it 5 stars that I remember, but I have it in my notes that I'm like, I remember this book. I think about it all the time. I thought it was really cute and the baking was just so well done. If you love the British baking show, I don't even know the proper name of that show, but if you like that
Hmm.
show, you'll really, I think, enjoy this one. I owned it, which I said, and then I got rid of it, and I have in my notes that I regretted that I got rid of it because I think about it all the time. And I always want to reread it. And I'm like, why? I read so many romances, and I don't know what it was about this one that I just really thought was I just memorable, I guess.
Okay. The next one, it's funny because you're reading this right now, is Tower of Dawn. which is the book I feel like everyone hates, I
I
guess.
don't get
But
it.
I specifically think about Irene a lot and her I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I mean, I guess everything in these books is a spoiler at this point, but Irene and her healing abilities and the Valg, is that how you
Mhm.
say it? Valg. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like how she's doing all her research and then she's having to do like her hands and I don't know, like I can remember those things, those scenes like very well. I always think about it. And then it's funny because on Stranger Things, I feel like, which is it feels like totally unrelated, but it reminds me of that too. Like the stuff from the Upside Down. I'm like,
Mhm.
there it is. It's like Tower of Dawn. I don't know. It's if you've
Mhm.
seen Stranger Things and you've read Tower of Dawn, you have to let me know if that reference makes
Yeah.
sense to you.
Yeah, I love Tower of Dawn. Uh, I loved it the first time. I'm loving it now. If you consider skipping it, because like people say that, you're just slaps. Like you have
I
to
saw
read
someone
it.
recently that she skipped it.
That is insanity. Like if
She
you
had read
have
it before. She had read it before, but she's doing a reread and she's like, I'm skipping it. I don't need it. I'm like, no.
I okay, so after me and Susie finish reading them all, we're gonna have Susie come on, and I'm gonna have like, people can ask questions and stuff, but we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna talk about Tower of Dawn. I love this book. That's just that. But yeah, I support this being on Hillary's list because I really like this book. Okay. My next one is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. So this is book three in her Dreamland Billionaire series, and I liked all three of them. I will say this, they are spicy
I don't think
books.
I think I read the first two and not that one.
But I liked that the main male characters, they all were very flawed.
Hmm.
Now, I don't feel like they're unlikable because you guys know I don't like unlikable characters, but I think they're all very flawed. And this one, the brother, so the main male character, he's an alcoholic, and I just think this book shows how rough it is to love an alcoholic, and it's
Hmm.
really sad. It's the whole book. It just is very, very sad, but then also like very hopeful and then very sad again. Like it's rough. But I think about it and I talk about it to Josh all the time. I'm like, "Oh, that book was just so good though," because I feel like it's hard to do. It's hard to make someone extremely flawed going through very human struggles and still make them like you still want to root for them and you still want to root for their romance, but you're like, well, he hurts her with his choices. But then, like it's very complex. I think that she does it really well in this book. But so I think about it often. Really, really good.
Was this one also set in an amusement park?
No, no, it's
Indirectly, I guess.
I feel like they do reference them in every single book. They do reference that brother who owns that park.
Yeah, because the first one is set in the amusement park. Yes.
Yeah, the first one was special like that. Did you read the second one?
I like the second one too. Like you said, I think that was my downside with okay. So I like them both. So the first one I really liked. What I didn't like is it was spicy, but it was too spicy for me.
They're crass,
Yeah, yeah, it was a little much for
like
me.
raunchy.
Yes. But I still love the theme park.
Yeah,
It's interspersed throughout the book.
yes.
And the spicy scenes, if I remember, they were I don't want to say deviant, but they were a little I don't know I don't remember exactly what they were. I just remember being like, "Oh, this is like a bit a bit much."
She does. I don't read her books anymore because of that reason. Uh,
A little bit kinky.
so that's why I'm like emphasizing it so much because typically I don't read or like talk about books that are that spicy.
But I remember in the first one it was like a Down syndrome sibling.
Hmm.
And like that was an emphasis of it. See, I remember that one too, like theme park and then the Down syndrome sibling, and you got to see the guy like interact with her sibling, and I thought that was
Hmm.
really cool. So like, yes, she is crass in her language, but still very wholesome. And I felt like that with The second one I thought was not as much as the first one, I thought. And I really like that one a lot. And then I read, not the third one, but I read her novella, the Christmas novella
Oh
that
yeah.
she had. And I love that one too. It was just one scene that was very spicy, very. And
Like, why?
and you know it's funny at the acknowledgement at the end, she said she wrote it without a spicy scene and last minute decided to throw one in. And I was like, dang it, why did you do that? Like it was honestly like the perfect little novel, but I mean it's okay. There's something for everyone. It was funny that she had it without the because I was reading it, I was like, this doesn't even need anything. Like we're totally fine. And then she's like, oh, just kidding. And it felt like that too when I read it. I was like, oh, where did this come from? And then it confirmed that she's like, yeah, I just threw it in there just for kicks. Okay, so the last one I have is To All the Boys I Loved Before
Mm,
by Jenny Han. I think about the books, but I also think about the movies on Netflix. I think these are like the perfect I
mm,
don't know. I just think they're like the perfect little novels, the perfect like book about sisterhood and like not parenthood, but like relationship with your parent,
mm-hmm.
um, school. It's just such a sweet and I always think about Kitty and Laura Jean and I don't know, I just think about it often.
Peter
Yeah.
Kavinsky. Yeah. Yes.
With how like I want you to have your hand in my pocket.
They're
Like
so cute. Yeah, they're so cute.
and the Asian representation was
Yes.
so cute and perfect. I loved it. I loved it in the book. I thought the movie did it justice too.
Mhm.
Like, I just think that is such a cute movie.
Yeah,
If
and
you
then they
haven't seen
have
it,
it. Yeah, and they have it where like they lose their mom. Like there's a lot of depth in that for sure.
yeah, it's a good series. But in particular, the first book is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's really good. I always try to find something that will make me feel like that book, and it just never can happen. It's just so like cute, so happy. Okay, my last one is Taste the Heat by Rachel Harris. I read this book in like 2020, and I don't even know if this author still writes books, because I tried to go look her up. I read like all of her backlist. Whenever I read this book, I read all of them. I found it on Pinterest at the time. That was how I would find books to read, was on Pinterest, and this one came up. So, I mean, this is an interesting that I remember this though, because it's a romance, like contemporary romance. Who would think I would remember this? There's a fireman, he's the captain of the fire department in New Orleans, and then there's a chef, and she moves there, and he is her brother's best friend, which we know I am obsessed with. And then there's like a childhood crush. I don't remember who liked who, but anyway, I read this one, yeah, like 4 years ago, and I still think about it. I think about it often. I'm like, oh, I remember they went on this date walking around New Orleans. And I'm like, why? I don't know why I still
I
remember these
guess it's
things.
the setting's just different, like something unique.
I guess it's so weird. That's the thing. I'm like, a lot of the ones on my list, most of these I think are not rom-coms, like they were something
Mm-hmm.
different, something that was maybe
Something different,
scary
yeah.
or something different. But this one, one of the first romances that I read as an adult, and I still think about it.
Okay, so that was good. That was a good topic. So you guys have to let us know, like, is there a book that always pops up into your brain? Like, it doesn't have to be something you love, but just something, I don't know, something that keeps coming up.
Okay, I asked people on Instagram this.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna read some of the answers. I got so many, so I can't read them all. But someone said Daisy Jones,
Yes, love.
The Selection,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The Housemaid, Powerless, Caraval, Drinker of Ink, which, I hear a lot about that.
I've never even heard about that.
Okay, look it up. I'm gonna send it to you because if anybody needs to try it, I need you to try it. I don't know that I will enjoy it, but so many people have raved about that book. Okay, Jane Eyre, that's a no for me.
Oh, I also think about that. I also think about, but I hate that book.
I know, I'm like, if I think about it, it's not good things. Yeah, so I don't know. Oh, here's Jurassic Park. I need to read that. I haven't read it. It's
Hmm.
been on my list for a long time.
That's Catherine Ryan Howard's favorite.
Really?
Hmm.
Obsessed by Ted Dekker. I have not read that one. I've read a lot of Ted Dekker, but I have not read
I
that one.
have, I think I've read that one.
No good?
Have I read that one?
I
Now I'm
don't
doubting
know.
myself. Now I'm
I
doubting myself.
haven't. I was looking at his backlist and it is like 10 miles long, so I don't know. I know I have not read
Okay,
that one.
no, I have not read that one. I've read a lot of his. I've read Skin. I've read Kiss, maybe. I'm
Yes,
looking through
I
them.
really liked Kiss. That is another one. Add it to my list that I think about that book. Do you remember that book?
Uh,
She wakes up and she has amnesia. And then this guy is like, "Yeah, I'm your," I don't know if he's like says he's her boyfriend or something.
I don't like it.
And she's like, "No, I don't remember you." I don't know, guys. It is creepy, but I really, really
Three?
liked it.
Oh, that should have been on my list. Three
I
by
haven't
Ted
read
Dekker.
that.
Did you not read? Oh my
No, Josh told
goodness.
me, he told me I need to read that one.
Yeah, oh my God. I think I read that when I was
I'd
16.
be
And I
scared.
remember I was scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
We were moving from California to
No.
Oklahoma, and we were in like a hotel,
Oh my
and
gosh.
everyone was asleep, and I was reading it in the living room, and I'm like, I'm scared.
Okay, no, this is what's insane. I have the same exact memory. I've just told Josh this the other day. I said we were moving from California to Oklahoma and we were in this hotel and
Oh my
I
God.
said everyone was asleep and I was reading Skin.
Ugh.
And I
You're like
said,
in other rooms.
yeah, yeah, I said I was so scared. Like,
Wow.
so apparently, I guess maybe that was all we were allowed to read, Ted Dekker.
I don't know why mom let us even read those. I think I got it like at Sam's, honestly, Sam's. Like it was just there and I was like,
Mardell sold them.
so she's like, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think I got it at Sam's though. It was just there and yeah.
So that's funny that we
I read
both.
Skin before. I read Skin before we moved because I remember the movers were
So
boxing up our stuff, so I gave it to you after.
yeah, you must. Yeah, I was gonna say you must have given me that and then moved on to that because that's crazy that we have the same memory with his books, and I did not know this, so that is hilarious.
Uh,
Okay, anyway, let
I
us
can't tell
know.
if anyone's like laughing or like shaking. They're like, turn it off.
Yeah, I cut the show. Done.
Okay, so do you have anything on your short list?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, I do. I forgot we had to talk about that.
Oh,
Okay. My short list is Unwillfully Wed to My Valentine. This is by Camila Evergreen. This book is
oh,
gonna be,
this cat lady.
yeah, it's gonna be weird. I already know, but I'm in the mood for like a quirky rom-com, and Camila will give it to me. So I'm excited. And it's Valentine. That's a perfect timing. I'm excited.
Okay, mine is Wedding Dashers by Heather McBreen. That this is the book. I don't know much about it other than Sarah from Kerosene Lit. She was saying it was like she said the romance of my dreams. So I don't think it's a rom-com. I think it's okay. It it sounds like it's almost like Catherine Walsh vibes from Holiday Romance,
Oh.
but not it's not Christmas. It's just like they have to make it and it's to Ireland. They have to make it to Ireland and they her flight was canceled. And so I mean to me it's like all the it sounds very similar, but I loved Holiday Romance, so I am willing to, give it a try. I know you guys are like book enemies, but I'm
Oh,
like,
me and Sarah.
no.
I don't know. I think we sometimes we do like the same things, and at other times we like totally different things too. But either way, I feel like we like talking about books.
She has really good reviews though.
She
So like
does.
even if I disagree or I didn't feel the same, I feel like I love her format and I can see like where she's coming from for whatever.
They make sense. Yeah, like they make sense, and you can definitely get the feeling of if you would like to be interested in trying it. She won't just give you like a thumbs up or thumbs down. She does go into detail, which I like. So, yeah, I'm curious how you feel about it. So, anyway, that's all.
All right. I'm like, good night.
Bye.
Bye. If you've made it this far and didn't add this episode to your DNF pile, thanks a bunch.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode for the Don't You Two Read podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing about our recently read books and hopefully getting to know us better as we begin this podcast journey with you guys.
We will be including timestamps, in the description on every episode so you can check there for books or products that we mentioned in today's episode.
Be sure to tune in to our next episode when we will be chatting about all things books. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Don't You Two Read Podcast, and you can find me at Hannah Reads.
And I'm at Hilary Reads. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you take a moment to follow us? You can also rate and review us wherever you listen. And as always, please share this with all of your bookish friends.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, we hope you have a magical week filled with 5-star reads.